Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Late Nights with Tick. I'm your host, Tick, as always. How are you doing? Alright, well, welcome back to the Sunday show. This is the second episode of this. And it's been a bit of a strange week for me. I haven't really, I haven't really got as much stuff as I would have liked done. I've had to be very, very busy at work because I'm finishing at my current job. And I play quite a pivotal role there. I'm basically the IT guy, as well as their main support. So that's me leaving is very, very difficult in terms of the amount of stuff that I have to set up and do, because there's a lot of things that I know that nobody else knows, and so there's a lot of writing for me. So it's taking up all my time. Even outside of work. But never mind. It's been busy. I didn't get as much stuff as I wanted to do. So let's talk about what happened this week that has just gone by. Firstly, Feed the Beast and Ruins of the Mindcrackers 2. That pretty much happened as it should have, except for there was no Feed the Beast on Wednesday because I had a slight server issue, mostly to do with the fact that I just I didn't pay for the server. Yeah. That's what happens when you're a poor person like me. It's a very, very cheap server. I only got it because it was on a deal. So, my current job, part of the reason why I'm leaving my current job and moving on to another one is that I only really earn enough here to just get by, to pay all my bills, and that's it. Which, it's not a great lifestyle, but I admit it's probably better than a lot of other people are able to manage. You know, life is tough at the minute. But it doesn't make my life easier. It's every month is a struggle. Anyway, so yeah, Feed the Beast on Wednesday didn't come out. I made the payment. The server came up 24 hours. Well, it's a bit of a weird situation. The server is up, and I could ping it, and I could see the status of it, but I couldn't join it. Nobody could join it. It wasn't accepting connections. That's just a weird way to turn the server off, but never mind. That's okay. So yeah, there was no Feed the Beast on Wednesday, which sucked, and there was no Ruins of the Mindcrackers last night, Saturday, because my good friend Albanakers, he has his kids around on the weekend, so they went to a carnival or fairground or something like that during the day, so he wasn't able to be around to sort out the video, so we skipped that, and we're releasing that tonight, so that should be okay. It may even come out before this, so if it has, go watch it. If it hasn't yet, stay up late, watch it. We really love the support on those. This week, a new snapshot came out for 1.7, 13W32A and B, I believe, with a bunch of new features. I personally am not going to be doing a snapshot cover or anything like that. There's a lot of people who do those already. Doc M does one. I know 8-Bit Monkey will be coming out with one. BOO does one. Yeah, there's quite a few. So if you're looking for it, you can find it. There's no point in me doing that. That's already a pretty saturated market. And on top of that, yesterday was in fact my birthday, so I have gotten older. I didn't actually get any exciting presents for my birthday because I'm to that age now. In fact, my birthday present for this year is that my wife and I are going to be getting Windows 7 64-bit Home Premium. Yeah. That's how exciting our lives are at the minute. We've been sitting on a 32-bit operating system for quite a long time, so it's severely limited. Makes rendering for me quite a difficult thing. But yeah, so hopefully that should improve. I've ordered some memory as well. That will make my life a lot easier, and overall I'm pretty happy with that. We typically only get the fun stuff around Christmas. Birthdays are used for getting the things that you kind of need in my family, so that's just the way it goes. I suppose, yeah, it really hasn't been a very super exciting week for me personally. I've been too busy to do fun and exciting stuff. But that all should then change in the next week. Oh, actually, other thing that I need to talk about. We didn't push out the Orcs Must Die 2 videos this week. We went through all the footage that we had recorded, and a lot of it is good, but there is a lot of it that isn't quite so good. So it needs a bunch more editing. And since we're talking about 35 gig files, that ruins my system. So I'm working around that. I'm rendering them into AVIs individually and then using these reduced files for it, which reduces the quality a tiny amount, but hopefully you shouldn't notice, and we'll be able to push those out in the coming week. Speaking of the coming week, this next week, change header, is that I have the... Oh my god, is that an ice cream truck? It's freezing out here. I wonder if you could hear that. But yeah, ice cream truck just drove past. Brilliant. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. 7 o'clock, and there's an ice cream van out there. Anyway, in the coming week, I do actually have this week off, so there's a lot more time for me to get things back, firstly, under control. I'm sort of editing on the fly now, but I want to get at least a couple of days things done. So get myself ahead, and I also want to kind of start recording some other things as well. I used to put out at least 10 videos a week. I've dropped down to 7, and I feel that's kind of low. I kind of want to do more things. So there are other things in the pipeline, but nothing set in concrete just yet. There is obviously going to be the typical Feed the Beast, the Ruins of the Minecrackers. We're getting very nearly to the end of that series. We only have a few more maps to go. We kind of go through them kind of slowly because Elb and I are both fairly new to CTMs. I have now played a couple of really mini small CTMs myself just to get me a bit better acquainted to the kind of playstyle that you need. It's interesting. It really does require you to have a different mind frame about how you play Minecraft, because you can't just wander around and build here, build there, do whatever you like. You kind of have to think about every move that you make. What else is coming in the next week? So yes, now that I have the time, I'll be fixing up the Orcs Must Die footage. That is going to be happening. I'm contemplating things that I want to actually record. I might actually put up a list somewhere and people can tell me what of the things that I do have they would like to see, because there's a number of things. I have had suggestions previously to play more FPS type things, which I'm definitely interested in. There is a tie-in into later in the show that I'm thinking about doing, which would be nice. Alright, so the coming week, I don't have any top quality news for it. There's a couple of things that are sort of bland here and there, but yeah, mostly it's about the fact that I have the whole week off so that I can just do stuff. There is housework things that need to be done, but I also need to get my YouTube life in order. In fact, I didn't get to work on the trailer this week, which was meant to come out on Saturday. That was my plan. As a sort of birthday present to myself. Yay! No, it was meant to come out on Saturday, but because I've been so busy and doing other things, I never actually got around to completing it. So I will actually finish that off this week. It's very nearly done. There is a almost complete render of it already done. And I talk about this thing as if it's taking my life, but it is actually taking me a long time. There's so many actors in it, and it's only done by me, and I'm not a very good editor at the minute, so everything takes me longer than you would expect it to take anybody else who does this sort of thing for a living, which is fine. That's just the nature of stuff. I have a job, I have a life outside of YouTube, kinda, so these things just take extra time. Let's move on to what I've been watching. This week, I actually have been watching a couple of YouTubers in particular. I've been watching LD Shadow Lady, who I did used to watch sporadically beforehand, but this week her Shadowcraft series has just sort of come out, which I'm typically not a fan of the sort of manic pixie girl style videos, but um, for some reason these ones have just caught my attention, so I've actually been really enjoying those. It's weird because there are a couple of these sort of YouTube personalities that I follow, like LD Shadow Lady and Kai Dream, who I don't really watch their videos. I follow their other things, like their Twitter and stuff like that, because some of that stuff's pretty interesting for the most part. And I read Kai's reviews in Hardware Heaven, but I don't really watch their videos, and sometimes I wonder why they're on my feed, but never mind. Such is life. Occasionally they put something out that makes me want to carry on watching. This week I've also been watching WD5K, who I went through basically their entire backlog. I skipped a couple of videos, but their stuff is very high quality, very awesome. Particularly the clone mini skits. I'm a huge fan of those. Those are great. And this all ties into how his various series are going on. So he has clones of himself to do all the videos, which makes sense. And I'm thinking about engaging in the same sort of mad science myself, because I could definitely use another couple of clones, and my wife is very happy for me to have clones of myself around. I've also actually been watching the backlog of my good friend Albinackers, who, well, I'm very good friends with him at the minute. That will change. He watches all my stuff, and I watch all the stuff that he produces at the minute, but I've never actually taken the time to go through a lot of his backlog. The guy's got 360 odd videos, so I kind of went back to the beginning, and I've been watching some of those, and you can really see the progress that he's made over time as a YouTuber, and he really deserves more in the terms of views and subscribers than he currently has. So please go check out his channel. He's fantastic. In fact, please go check out all the channels that I recommend, because I think that's good, and tell them that I sent you. They'll know what it means. They will know. What have I been playing this week? Okay, so I tend to flit from game to game, but this week the games that have held my attention for the longest have been Crysis 2. I've been playing that a bunch, and I'm actually thinking about doing an LP of Crysis 1, Crysis 2, and Crysis 3. I'd really like to do that. That'd be great. So I'm actually thinking that since I have a week, I might just fire my way through those games. I previously had the idea of doing an LP of Crysis 1, but Crysis 1 has like these huge, long periods of time where you're just traveling, really. And there are some enemies, but they're sort of few and far between, and for the most part, you can stealth your way through most of the game. And stealthing is my general way of playing these games. If you give me the stealth option, I will take it, and I will take it every time. I love stealth in games. I really want to play the new Splinter Cell. I don't have any money to get it. If I could, I would, and I would definitely LP that. But in the meantime, yeah, I've just had to console myself with playing Crysis. Yep. I've also been playing the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I did play this religiously a long while back, just after it came out, really. I played through the story, I did that inside of a weekend, and then I immediately jumped into the multiplayer, and I loved it. I love playing a infiltrator for the most part, or an engineer. My Geth engineer is my favorite, but this week I've been concentrating on infiltrators and vanguards. And it's still a lot of fun, but there are so many classes and races now, class race combinations, that my goodness, it's mental. But I did notice that they added 2 new packs, or they may have added them a while back, so you can now have a higher chance of characters or a higher chance of weapons. That's really good. I like that quite a lot. I was hoping to have somebody gift me Saints Row 4. That was something that was talked about a couple of days ago. So in the meantime, I've been playing Saints Row 3, The over-the-top sort of game style is fantastic, and I really want a dubstep gun. I don't listen to dubstep. I don't really like dubstep, but the idea of a gun that is based around dubstep, that excites me. That is good. That is what I want. And on top of those three, I have actually also been playing Terraria, because we saw the Starbound demo at Insomnia. Bunsable and I stood there and watched it, and it was okay. It wasn't too bad. Duncan from Yogscast was playing it. I wasn't I wasn't really impressed with the people playing it, but the game itself looked good. Sorry, Duncan. Unfortunately, in that case, maybe it was the pressure of doing it live, but it just wasn't super interesting. But I liked the concept of the game, and it looked like it had a lot of potential in it. I saw that there was a star map for traveling to different worlds, so that was pretty interesting. I'd like to actually explore that some more, and I'd love to play Starbound. Starbound would be great. That would be possibly another LP thing in the future. This is a problem with starting on YouTube, is that you start to think of games in terms of, would I put that on YouTube? And I'm an avid game player. That's pretty much my sport. That is what I do. So that one's difficult for me, because there came up an opportunity to buy something. My wife and I have a sort of budget for games and stuff, and sometimes it's taken up by me, sometimes it's taken up by her. This month we decided to get my wife a Samsung S4 Mini instead of getting a game, which I think is a pretty solid investment anyway. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought entirely. Wow, 17 minutes in, and that's all. That is a new record for me, losing my thought. Okay, so what is happening soon? Da 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 da. Right, we are definitely releasing the trailer this week. Absolutely. I am also working on thumbnails. I've had a bit of advice from some other people. So yeah, thumbnails are things that is going to be happening. That will be good. I am looking at this point, borrowing, but possibly purchasing in the near future, a Elgato, so I can start recording from the Xbox. I don't have a PS3. It's not that I'm a console person who sits there and goes, "Oh, Xbox only." No, I don't mind. Any console will do. I like consoles. Those are all good. So that is something that is possibly happening in the future. As for anything else, look out for the possibility of a Crysis Let's Play. I've come up with a pretty good idea about how to handle the long sections of just travel. Thanks to me playing around with editing. And I think I've covered all the items. Yes. Right, and just for monkeys' pleasure, that over there is a seat. There is another one just over there off camera. Those are for people who get interviewed. I will ask the harsh questions that nobody else will ask. Possibly. I have 2 of those currently lined up, interviews. They are not going to happen for at least 3 weeks. They're a lot of work. I never realized how much work goes into actually interviewing somebody and asking them pertinent questions, because there's a lot of research that needs to be done. I need assistance. I need some people whose job it is to sit there and watch videos, find out what these people have been talking about, and then give me the right questions to ask. I will be making an announcement about interviews shortly, possibly within the next 2 weeks, about how you, people who watch other YouTubers and other things, can get interviewed. But they really only matter once I've actually got a couple of interviews under my belt, and you can see how it is. Luckily, some of my friends have happily agreed to undergo this process for me. So, that's it for the Sunday show. Thanks for watching, everybody. You've been a fantastic audience as ever, and I will catch you next time. Adios.